So, down the hill comes St Helens. That's an interesting kick forward. I think, David, you've got some great memories of Featherstone playing down the hill here.
That's right, Saints are going downhill. I always found it intimidating a ground because the crowd is so close to everything, and down the hill first half, I always certainly like to go down the hill on the second half because you always felt you could do something against the Featherstone side.
Neil Holding got the ball from the scrum, and here's young fullback Gary Connolly, who played at Wembley, of course, last season as a 17-year-old. Holding doing a little run around with Phil Vivers. He's moved into the loose forward position. So the early pressure from the Saints, who've been scoring a lot of tries in recent weeks. Groves along the line is Holding, and they'll be looking for a gap from Haggerty, who skips inside a couple of tackles and gets the ball away for Vivers. And the move keeps going, and Paul Laughlin goes on a run, and he's got his winger in. Hunt is in, first minute of the game. Alan Hunt has the try for St Helens. And again, Featherstone's tackling leaving a lot to be desired. I know Peter Fox has been working on the tackling pattern this week, but they weren't there. Laughlin got his man in.
Well, this is the sort of start St Helens wanted. They're playing down the hill the first half. There's always difficult ground to play on, moving it out, slack defensive work on behalf. Paul Newlove caught out of position, an easy chance for him to go over in the corner.
But it's not an easy kick for Paul Laughlin, right out on that touchline. He's taken the ball back a good distance, beyond the 25. Trying to ease the angle. Laughlin's got a great kicking record this season. He's concentrated on his kicking, and it's paying off. 6 points in the very first minute of the match. And that's exactly what Featherstone didn't want in their current form.
Well, they've just moved it about. It's a kick-off. It's the early start of the game. They just move it out wide, but it's very poor defensive play. A side obviously lacking in enthusiasm, and straight away St Helens move it out wide, and everybody's caught out of position. I mean, the ball just goes wide on the outside, and Laughlin skates through a defence that's absolutely spread-eagled.
Today's official is Stephen Cross from Hessel, near Hull. This will be the second scrum of the game. The first went to St Helens, the second has gone to Featherstone, and they need the ball. Alan Banks, Bibb. Now that's a good run, and there's a chance here for Paul Newlove. The ball got away to him well there by Gary Price. Fox. Again it's Price. This is better from Featherstone. Jeff Gratian thundering towards that line. He hasn't got a try for Featherstone at all since he joined them from Leeds, but he wasn't far away that time. And here's Bell, a yard short. Last tackle though. And Fox might try and do it all himself. And he's got up, and is he there? He's over on his back. Well, that's a shame for Featherstone Rovers. They really did need a try at that moment.
Look at Fox here now. He's drawing the man, he goes himself, he gets knocked down in a tackle here, but he's quick enough to get up and make his way toward the line, only being thwarted on the line by being turned over.
Once more, Haggerty runs straight. Crunching tackle there into the body of Tony Kay. Moving it along that line, but as yet they've not made a lot of ground. Now is a little bit more made as he tries to fend off Alan Banks. Well, again, Holding is pinning them back. He's not quite made the corner this time. That's going to go dead. But he is the tactician.
Yes, and of course it is a tactic that is usually used here down the hill, and that's when you get in a position like Featherstone can in the second half to use that hill, it is very intimidating for the opposition to play up it.
I'm sure Peter Fox will have quite a bit to say about it. Now Fox shows us his kicking prowess up the hill, fielded by David Tanner. The tackling is by Banks and Manning. Kay did well, Tony Kay, really good running and a good ball out for Loughlin as well. Loughlin is tackled, I think. Yes, he's held this time by Bibb. But it was a good break from Kay, and this looks dangerous. Harrison caught around the shoulder. There was nothing wrong with that tackle. And he must be a very awkward man to tackle, in fact. Beavers, this looks good. Cosgrove. Holding thinks about switching play. Oh, and then gives the ball away to Newlove. Well, it was one time that Neil Holding took the wrong option. Chris Burton. Fisher would have anybody to support him, really. Fox again, the mainspring, Banks, and now Manning comes back in field and gets his ball away for Bibb, and Bibb wriggles out of the tackle. Did well to do that and keeps going. Chris Bibb, elusive running. Now Barry Drummond, who's a spirited runner, and Drummond hairs off through the middle. What an exciting run by young Barry Drummond that was. Now Fox and Featherstone have a lot of men up. Oh, he's chosen to kick.
Just watch this now. I mean, he straightens up, and this is what is really wanted now on this Featherstone side. You've got to come right down the middle, and this is what he certainly does here. He knows where he's going, and he goes for the line. It's only good cover defence that stop him.
Helens moving it along that line nicely, and Connolly, and it's Loughlin who puts it to ground this time. Just that little bit too anxious once again. The initiative goes back to Rovers. It's been that sort of a game. Banks, he rolls into the gap. And there's been only one try in the match, and yet both sides should have had at least two. On the back for Roy Haggerty. Great Britain tourist, of course, last year. He was a centre originally, and he switched to the pack. And this time a penalty is awarded again by referee Cross to Featherstone. And into touch she goes. This is a real chance then for the home side. Glenn Bell will storm up and carry the fight to St Helens. This is when they really need to be turning that screw, and Gratian slips a great ball for Price, and Derek Fox surely must get in this time. No, yet again the line holds good. He seemed a certain scorer. He's there this time. And it's the loose forward Andy Fisher who obliges once again. He's had a good record in recent weeks. It's his 5th of the season, and Peter Fox is much happier about that one. So well done to Andy Fisher. It looked as though nobody was going to manage to wriggle over.
They've got to do something with it, and they have to move it out. They've now started to run straight. This is a well-planned move. The forward comes on the burst here. Fox backing up as usual, actually hauled back from over the line. But it's from the play of the ball now where the St Helens defence have been very well organised. Look how they've all moved to one side, and nobody really takes the man. Fisher scoring.
Should be a couple of comfortable points for Derek Fox. It's 6 apiece. We're back all square. Not many people in the ground seem to approve of that decision, but in any case, it's a scrum, and it'll be a St Helens put in, and now a penalty is awarded to the visitors. Looks as though St Helens are going to bring on Mark Lee in place of John Harrison. There he is. He's not played in the first team for a couple of years. Groves holding. St Helens will know they could do with a score before the break. Here is Harrison. They were trying to take him off a moment ago. Still on and making his presence felt. And they'll go left with Bailey. Oh, and Haggerty, a romping run from him. I think he was quite sure whether to try and stretch himself or just get that ball away. Now important for the blue and white line to hold, and Groves gets it away for Neil Holding. Oh, it must be a try. It's Harrison. John Harrison, the man they were going to take off. Well, it's a pretty good decision not to go.
Well, you see the Featherstone defence here now. They know they've got to hang on to this to get him back into the game. They desperately dive into the tackle, but look how disorganised they are. There's 3-4 men go for one, leaving him an easy route to the line.
And a far simpler kick for Paul Loughlin. So we've had 2 tries in a minute. One at either end, and Loughlin tacks on the 2 points to restore the 6-point advantage for the Saints.
Well, Featherstone will be disappointed. I mean, their defence comes up here, and there's 2 or 3 men in the tackle. But they really had to hold out here, and they didn't. They allow Holding to come back inside, and look how disorganised the defence. There's 4 or 5 people around the man with the ball. When Harrison picks it up, no one there at all, gives him an easy route.
John, just clearing up the mystery about that St Helens substitution. John Harrison has got a knock. He's got a problem with the ball of his right foot. The Saints wanted to bring him off. That's why the decision was going to be made. Of course, having scored a try, they've left him on. They're still worried about him, but they haven't got all that many forwards of quality to bring on. So Alex is a little bit undecided at the moment.
This is the last tackle, so I suppose Fox will kick. Yes, he will. And it's the up and under. Young Connolly comes for it, puts it down as well, and knock on by the fullback. It was a tricky kick from Fox.
It certainly was, and one can already envisage perhaps that's the tactic he might use in the second half.
Well, St Helens really should have done better with their chance, and as it is, they have to defend against this wily little scrum half, who was called into Great Britain's plans, of course, against New Zealand. Talking of New Zealand, here's one, Bell. Not long before the hooter, but Fox finds Burton there this time. Well, they're trying a goal now would make it interesting at 12 apiece. Can it be that? Oh, Fox missed one out, but it's gone instead to Chris Bibb, and Bibb goes for the line. I don't think they'll stop him. Excellent try from the fullback. He stayed down. I hope he's not badly hurt. He took a knock in the act of scoring, and he's certainly got a bleeding mouth.
They move at the voucher now, and they really know they've got to get back on the scoreboard. They've thrown so many chances away. Not a good pass by Derek Fox, but the fullback picks it up, wrong foots the defence, and leaves them all, straightens up and goes to the line with great determination.
Good try from a potential international player. He's played, of course, for the under-21 side, and he's added to his tally of tries this season. Mind you, half a dozen against Keighley helped.
Well, Featherstone desperate for another try to put him on level terms, and it's a bad pass by Fox, goes right behind the defence, but at the same time it foxes the whole of the defence. Now Bibb picks it up and turns inside the defence, and with great determination really goes and hairs for the line.
So the concentration intense. This to make it 12 apiece. Looks good to me. Oh dear, it looked good to the crowd as well, and it just swirled away at the last moment, and it's the last action of the first half. But a good half, David Watkins, in many ways, although the score could have been much higher.
Well, yes, both sides really have struggled a little bit. They put a lot of passes to the floor.
But 2 tries apiece, Alan Hunt and John Harrison for the Saints, and Andy Fisher and Chris Bibb for Featherstone. The difference then, the 2 goals from Paul Loughlin.
Simply play the ball, haven't you?
Well, we have. It's been wide open at times, and we try to tighten that up with a second defender at the acting half-back position. We don't like to play because you can't get the ball moving if you do, but that's where you've got to tighten them up and stop them running.
Peter, thanks very much indeed. We're in the second half with John.
And Featherstone are running it towards that St Helens try line straight away, and he was a yard away. That would have had Peter Fox whooping with delight. Back for Fox, fumbles it, but the ball went backwards. So let's see if they can sustain this pressure coming right up to the St Helens line, and Gary Price might try and work it away. Very close. Interesting, David, to hear that about the tactical switch.
Well, that's right, they were vulnerable, and as you rightly said so, at that stage of the game, they just got back into it. And of course, they give away a silly try.
And that was Gratian hauled down on the 6th tackle, 5 yards out. And yeah, he was absolutely right what he was saying about the tackling, Peter Fox. Disappointing that they should give that one away.
Well, they're not organised themselves, although the second half they've come out with a little bit more verve and a little more spark, and they put St Helens under pressure straight away down the slope.
Haggerty runs them out of defence. Good, strong running from Roy Haggerty, experienced second rower. Now Holding will kick up the hill, and again he shows what a very good tactician he is. Good tactical kicker.
Well, it takes pressure off his defence, and he's very good at it. He kicks well, low trajectory kicks, makes a lot of ground of it as well, and his forwards will be saying, thanks very much, Neil, that's what we want.
What a record he's had over the years. Hold up down here because St Helens are going to bring on Mark Lee, and now John Harrison does come off. So we're preserving John Harrison from that injury. St Helens don't get the ball from the scrum though, and here's Drummond. Harrison's foot injury necessitating the switch. The rare chance for Lee, lovely ball slipped to Derek Fox, and a good one from him to Clark, but a forward one according to referee Cross. They certainly have come out firing, and of course they know what it's like to play down this hill.
That's right, it's always much better backing up the man with the ball and taking the passes quickly.
So in the first half, Featherstone just edged the scrums, 9-7. There were none one against the head by either hooker. And the penalties, well, St Helens conceded 2 more than Rovers. And the errors in play even. Peter Fox off his perch for once. Now Fisher again, he's a sprightly mover, is this loose forward, he really is. He's only coming to the side this season, and he's done so to good purpose. It's much better from Featherstone this, they're looking a bit more inventive anyway. And Fox, the little ball inside for Burton. Trying to register his first try for the club, following his move from Hull KR last year. Fox switches it the other way. Now Chris Bibb once more, he knows where that line is. He's made it over it once. Again, they look to Fox and Gratian. Fox again, now the kick is a good one, and Newlove is in! What an excellent try! And this time, Derek Fox's little kick does catch them napping, and Newlove had a clean pair of hands.
Well, Featherstone have to change their tactic. It's out to Fox here now, and instead of moving the ball out wide, he chips it through the middle, and Newlove, sensing it through the middle, takes it over the line.
And for the first time in the match, Featherstone have the lead. And that's 14 for Paul Newlove now this season. The Great Britain international these days, of course. And St Helens will be asking questions of themselves. Well, they come to be trailing to a side that's won only one game all season in the league. 2 more points for Derek Fox. And the Featherstone fans are cheering. 16-12. That was a clever try. And Featherstone's ball, it's all happening for them now. And that was Trevor Clark, who clung on. No words necessary for Chris Burton. What's happening down on the touchline, Nick?
Well, Featherstone may be back in front. Peter Fox is certainly never satisfied. While that conversion was being taken, he called Jeff Gratian over to him and said, tell Derek Fox and Price, and Andy Fisher is doing so well, tell them all, stop panicking. Peter Fox isn't satisfied yet.
Talking of panic, there's a ball put down by Rapati, which shouldn't have been really. But again, it was a fine run from Tony Kay, the centre, at that right touchline. Now then, what can they work here? Connolly, who's had one very good dash in this half, has another one, then loses it. Picked up by Newlove, and he'll get it away for Drummond. Now then, Drummond tries to get on the outside of Holding. Fine tackle by the scrum half. He's not an easy man to stop, as we've seen. Newlove once more. Can he find a gap? Then St Helens really squandered their chance then. Gratian is loving every minute of it, and again he comes into the fray. Good old grandad, they say on the terraces. Fox looking for some space, finds some, good ball, Fisher's second, under the sticks. Thank you very much, he says. And this is the best we've seen from Featherstone for a long, long time. And it was Fox again at the hub of it, running them ragged, and Fisher's second.
What an inspiration. Just watch this. He goes as if to drop a goal, you see. The defence caught on the foot, sidesteps Grove with perfection, goes down through it, loose forward on his outside and takes the ball, this Fisher, and dives over under the post.
Well, he certainly knows what to do. They don't look to be panicking to me. And as Fox prepares to kick another goal, which he duly does, Trevor Clark has come for more instructions from Peter Fox down on the touchline. 22-12.
Watch how he steadies it up now. This is the man behind it all. Derek Fox stands in, beats the man, takes it straight forward on him. Fisher on his outside, takes the ball over and goes under the post for a crucial try.
But it's worth remembering that on no occasion this season has Featherstone conceded less than 18 points in a match, so we can expect more to come from the Saints. They've lost the ball of Featherstone. Here's St Helens' chance. And this chap Kay again, who's a very good, stringy sort of a runner. He's made some ground whenever he's been in possession. Well, Alex Murphy has got to do something now to change the course of events, because in this second half it's really been all Featherstone. Groves, Jones. And if St Helens could get another try at this stage, it would make it very interesting indeed. Groves into the gap is Bailey. Still Bailey. This is the best move that St Helens have had in this half. Groves, a yard out. And they'll push him back another 3 or 4 yards as well. Still the chances here for the visitors. Holding into the gap, and 2 of them managed to pin him down. Well, it took Bell a long time to haul him. That's the last. This is the last tackle. And is there a way through for Vivers? There isn't. And it'll be the handover.
Well, that was desperate defence by Featherstone Rovers, but they've hung on, and this is the only worrying thing about Featherstone, is sometimes they do let the ball go too often. They really need to get the ball away from there now, and I would imagine 1 or 2 play the balls, and they must really kick downfield to get St Helens out of their half.
They'll be looking to Derek Fox for that. And for the moment it's Gratian. No, it's not. They've a dummy run. And he shakes his head, does Jeff Gratian. Now Fox is there with the kick. Awkward one for Tanner. Now he picks it up. And that was exactly what Featherstone wanted from Fox. Okay, again. One way of getting him. And the penalty is awarded because of the dragging him along the ground by his, I was going to say shirt tails, it was shirt cuff.
Well, it is an unnecessary tactic that. I think once the man is down the floor, you know he has to play the ball, and you'd be better off getting back in defence, lining yourself up ready for the opposition.
I'm sure St Helens, having gone to Humberside and beaten Hull during the week, wouldn't have expected their recent winning run to come to an end here at Featherstone.
Not at all. I mean, they still got a lot to do, and Featherstone really have to settle down even themselves, because the lead isn't really enough as far as they're concerned, because Saints always look promising whenever they're on attack, because they do come straight and go forward all the time.
They're doing just that now. It's a difficult one for Holding to take. Oh, super sidestep from Holding, and another one. Vivers couldn't hold on, and who's got it?
Well, you know, just look at Holding. This is really him at his best. He takes the ball on, takes on the defenders. Look how he stands people still, puts the ball inside. It wasn't caught by Groves, but the ball went loose on the floor.
I think that it shows that there's not that much in the first division this year between top and bottom in many ways. St Helens have been on a great run, Featherstone a terrible run, and yet here they are in the lead.
That's right, but we did say at the start that both sides have problems with injuries, but nonetheless it is an inspired performance.
There's Newlove, and that's really giving it the ball away. I'm sure Alex Murphy will not have been at all happy about that.
Well, he won't be really, because they've taken things far too easy, and they really now finding difficulty when you're behind 22 points to 12. It's very difficult now to get back in the game, and at the same time Featherstone are really on top on song, and they're really pushing forward at every opportunity.
Yes, St Helens are finding it hard to raise their game, and as a result Featherstone are inside their 25 again, with Fox and with Price. Fox gives it to Burton. Burton's only 8 or 9 yards out. This time Fox will get the drop goal. He pops it over. Useful little point to get it this time.
You can't put pressure on a side for long periods and not get points, and that's exactly what he has done. Just watch this now. He stands back in a good position, the right foot bangs it over.
And the applause is because Alan Dakin is to replace Glenn Bell for the moment. Of course, in rugby league, people can come back on, so it's not to say it's the last we've seen of Glenn Bell today. And I wonder if at long last Featherstone are going to get something out of this season after such a miserable run. Connolly again ran well. We've seen much better from him in the second half.
Yes, he has. He's played well as well, but it's incredible, actually, the number of players always left, Featherstone players left in the wake of St Helens players when they really run at them. And that must be worrying for Peter Fox.
Penalty awarded against Alan Hunt for not playing the ball properly. And he throws the ball away in disgust. And now it's all going right for Featherstone and wrong for St Helens.
It's interesting now, you see the confidence, Derek Fox not taking the kick at goal, banging it down to the corner, going to use the six, play the balls again, and keep St Helens pinned on their line.
Starting with Clark to Dakin. They've got 4 tries. Can they get a fifth? Burton. Dakin spins. Ooh, go the crowd. And which way will it come? St Helens tearing out of the traps like greyhounds. Fox finds Fisher, going for the hat-trick. What a popular moment that would have been for the young man. On to Treasure. Desperate defending from St Helens. Somewhere in there was Gary Price. Here is Fox, not a drop goal this time. Could be a try for someone. Oh, Gratian through his legs. I think he'd seen that in a Wigan match, Kevin Iro recently. Read a great roar from the crowd, and it was the handover at the end of it all, and now a penalty goes for St Helens.
Well, that really was an opportunity lost, I felt then, because Chris Bibb really had his wing outside him and really should have pushed the ball out to the winger then. Instead of that, he tried to sell a dummy and come back inside. It was nailed. Just watch it here now. I mean, he's got the opportunity to put Drummond away. He sells the dummy, and the defence just nails him with nobody there, and he holds his hands and his head in horror.
Ten minutes left. St Helens look for a gap anywhere, and they haven't really found many in this half. The Featherstone tackling has obviously been much better, so the new pattern devised by Peter Fox seems to have worked. And I think he's on his way into touch, one way or another. The penalty is awarded by referee Cross to St Helens. That was a bit like a conga in the dark. Nobody knew where they were going. Cosgrove. Again a penalty is awarded. And Groves pushes the referee out of the way to take it. Well, that is some urgency for St Helens. Groves just kept going. Holding, he has 2. If St Helens got a try, they would still believe they could come back. But they've got to get to that try line first, and they're not making a very good fist of it, are they? Oh, the ref says play on, though. What can Holding do? The timing of the pass is crucial. Picked up now by Bailey. 20 yards out. Haggerty gets it away for Bailey, and Bailey chips ahead, and Bailey scores a good try. That is a good try. He really thought about that, and Mark Bailey has put St Helens back in it.
Well, it's been a St Helens side now. They're pushing forward all the time, and I've always been worried about Featherstone's defence. It hasn't been good. Peter Fox has been worried about it as well. He just chipped through here. Bibb can't hold him because the ball is gone, and he follows it up to score.
And he's a right to be pleased with his try. and if the kick goes over, there will be only 5 points in it. Ooh, only just in off. But it's 23-18, and we've got a game on our hands again now.
Well, Saints have now shown the sort of going forward they have to. They've got to have the urgency. It comes back inside. A deft little chip ahead. A defence that has been lacking all afternoon. He picks it up and scores.
Fox kicking through once more. It's an awkward one. Well picked up. And a good tackle as well by Fox. He really has been the instigator. St Helens keen to get it away from their own line. And now they do make a bit of ground. Dick.
Well, John, just picking up that point that you were making and David making about Derek Fox, and if it had been 13-0, then Featherstone might have won by even more. Peter Fox is actually not convinced about that because he was upset when Derek Fox dropped the goal, and the score, of course, now only 5 points difference. Peter Fox's view was that they should have gone for the try to make themselves more safe, and it'll be interesting to see what happens now. Still only 5 points in it.
That's a demanding coach, obviously, but St Helens do have the ball, and they are coming up this hill with Loughlin, getting it away onto this wing to Alan Hunt. He scored one in the first minute, and he's got it away for Loughlin. Inside is Vivers. Vivers chased by Drummond. Connolly under the posts. What a score! A length of the field try, and the youngster who made some mistakes in the first half has certainly got his own back. And Gary Connolly takes St Helens to within a point, and surely Loughlin should give St Helens the lead again with the kick. He's a happy lad.
Well, they've really put everything into it, St Helens, in this last few minutes. Their urgency has come back to the play. They've moved the ball out. They've had good backing up. A poor defence, all at 6s and 7s. Beaver's taking his time, going to be caught, but floats it back inside. Connolly, again backing up. This is what the game is all about. And he goes over and opposed under the post.
The St Helens fans behind those posts jump for joy. I'm sure Alex Murphy will be shouting to them now, just hold on. Not any wild passes at a time like this. And Vivers does exactly that. Now he gets it out to Holding. The two half-backs have really given marvellous exhibition. Haggerty. That's it. It's a Saints win, and despair for Rovers. Alex Murphy leads the applause, as well he might, because his team almost looked dead with about 10 minutes to go. But they came back and showed some real resilience there. Disappointment for Peter Fox, and he must wonder what he's got to do to produce a victory for his team at the moment. And so, despite 2 tries for Fisher, 1 from Bibb and 1 from Newlove, plus 3 goals from Fox and a drop goal, it's St Helens who take the 2 points. Hunt, Harrison, Bailey, Connolly their try scorers, and Paul Loughlin's 4 goals were important. Who's the Stonesbury man of the match, David?
Well, despite St Helens' fine comeback and their win, and their side did play very well, I have to give it to Derek Fox, because he was an inspiration to his team. He was a superb passer of the ball, always prompting and scheming, as that move that put Andy Fisher over under the post only goes to illustrate. Well, it was really a case today of you giving it them rather than them winning it from you.
That's right, yes. The game's played over 80 minutes, and unfortunately we got so far in front that I thought the game was won. Good luck, all the best for St Helens. They came back and stole the show in the last couple of minutes, so all credit to them.
Well, you know you've got a lot of work yet to put in, but it's going to be a hard slog now, isn't it?
It is, yes. Peter said we need to win 4 out of the next 6 games. Unfortunately, next week is his cup game, so I think his next away game is Sheffield, which Sheffield are riding out at the moment, so we've got to come round a bit, and I thought we turned the corner today, actually, but unfortunately Saints put us back in his place again, so...
Well, disappointment today, but let's hope it goes well for you in the future.
Thanks very much, David, thank you. I'd just like to thank Stonesbury and Yorkshire Television for this award. Thank you very much.
This is the way of the day statistics. We had a scrum every 4 minutes. Rovers took 13 of them, St Helens 10, but neither Trevor Clark nor Paul Groves was successful in healing against the head. It was a very sporting contest, reflected by the penalty count. Rovers conceded just 9 penalties, St Helens 1 fewer than that. But the errors in play went to the other extreme. Featherstone put down 20 passes and Alex Murphy's men spilled the ball 22 times. Now Nick has the rest of the news and the results.
And the main story comes from Odsal, where Phil Ford's 2 tries against his old club, one in the last minute, weren't enough to save Leeds. Elsewhere, Mark Aston's 4 goals helped bring Sheffield back from 20 points down, 50th consecutive match he scored in. Andy Mason, 2 tries in Wakefield's dramatic comeback against Barrow. Wigan's Mark Preston gets his 19th touchdown of the season as Hull are overwhelmed. And in Division 2, Armstrong and Bishop collect 2 tries each as Hull Kingston Rovers score 50, but Dick Fairbank is sent off as Halifax lose at Carlisle. The Stones Better Championship, the results: Bradford Northern 14, Leeds 13. Featherstone 23, St Helens 24. Salford 20, Sheffield 20. Wakefield 30, Barrow 16. Warrington 16, Lee 8. Wigan 30, Hull 2. In the match of the day at Odsal, Bradford drew first blood against Leeds, David Hobbs kicking Northern in front after 20 minutes. And 2 minutes later they went further in front, a driving run from Carl Fairbank, who later won Bradford's Man of the Match award. Acting halfback is the man who stood in so successfully for Brian Noble as Bradford's hooker, Glenn Barraclough, and he sets up Neil Roebuck. This match had kicked off 15 minutes late because so many fans wanted to get in, but they'd all arrived in time to see Hobbs add on the conversion, and Bradford 8 points in front. Leeds' first points followed that crunching tackle by Fairbank on Gary Devorty. The referee, Robin Whitfield, decided it didn't warrant any more than a penalty kick, which Maskell plonks over for Leeds' first points of the match. And just before half-time, they got their first try of the match. Devorty feeding Coleman. It's on the last tackle, so the intelligent kick through, and Phil Ford with the try against his old club. Maskell added the conversion. 8 points all the score at half-time. Into the second half, and Leeds scored first. Schofield's drop goal, Leeds 9-8 in front. Northern replied in kind. David Hobbs, his drop goal. Another one a few moments later from a real drop goal specialist, Paul Harkin. Watch the dummy. Bradford back in front, 10 points to 9. Then the try that Northern thought had probably sealed the match, worked out wide by McGowan. The fullback Errol Johnson sending Gerald Caudle over in the corner. This with 15 minutes left, and the crowd, the Bradford Northern fans among the 14,000 certainly enjoying it. Didn't enjoy the conversion quite so much. David Hobbs just wide with that. So Northern, having dominated throughout, had to withstand some severe Leeds pressure in the last 5 or 10 minutes. This the most dramatic moment of all. Coleman, Devorty, the ball finally worked out to the substitute Warren Wilson on the far side. Back it comes. Again, you'll see Coleman involved. Here he is as the playmaker. The ball switch, David Heron playing back in the pack again this week. And finally, it's worked out by Fawcett to Phil Ford in the corner for his second try of the match. Leeds within 1 point. It's all on Colin Maskell's kick, and he fluffs it. The hooter goes almost immediately, and the Bradford fans are the ones who can celebrate tonight. Their club level on points with Leeds. It's Bradford 14, Leeds 13. So there's the championship table. Bradford, you see, now trailing Leeds only on points difference, and Wakefield are also on 14 points. It's been a good day for Wigan, though, and they'd have been 4 points clear tonight, but for St Helens' late recovery at Featherstone. Division 2. Batley 10, Fulham 12. Bramley 2, Huddersfield 14. Carlisle 30, Halifax 20. Hull Kingston Rovers 54, Dewsbury 6. Hunslet 20, Rochdale 26. Nottingham 13, Runcorn 6. Oldham 30, Doncaster 8. Trafford Borough 24, Workington 10. Whitehaven 22, Keighley 18.
Second division leaders Rochdale Hornets were at Elland Road, but it was Hunslet who actually scored first in the try, a gift. Colin Panola kicking ahead and racing away to touchdown. His first of the season and an easy conversion for Wilkinson. But Rochdale are the league's top point scorers, and they were soon hitting back with a really excellent score. It was a long-range move involving winger Higgins, an excellent break by him, and good support as well from his centre. There may have been a forward pass there, but the referee saw nothing wrong, and the scorer centre Mark Lord. Hunslet haven't been having the happiest of seasons, but they stung the Hornets with the quality of their attacking play, rounded off here by fullback Paul Burrows. It was a game that toed and froed, and just when Rochdale needed some inspiration, they got it. From John Woods collecting the kick through and skipping through with the enthusiasm of a colt. A difficult kick for Steve Turner, but he was equal to the task. Hunslet kept plugging away and got their reward with Panola's second try in the corner. No goal that time, but now look out for one of the tries of the season. It belongs to Rochdale's John Higgins. No need for comment, just watch him go. A 90-yarder from Higgins, but some of that Hunslet tackling wasn't too good. The kick was, though. Now here come Rochdale again. But they're on the receiving end this time. Yet another interception by that handyman Panola. And that's his hat-trick. And 2 more points for Wilkinson. Hunslet still well in the game. But Rochdale confirmed their status as leaders with another excellent try. Booker Hall opening the way for Lord's second in the corner. And a great touchline goal by Turner. Just one more score to come, and it's the substitute forward, Tony Humphreys, who forces his way over for the final touchdown. Hunslet 20, Rochdale Hornets 26.
So Rochdale stay top, holding off Oldham on points difference. Hulkingston Rovers are third, Huddersfield up 1 to 4th, and Rydale York up 4 to 5th by virtue of winning on Friday night. So to part 2 of our competition, and the questions about today's 2 coaches. How many club sides have they coached between them? How many league clubs have Peter Fox and Alex Murphy coached between them? Keep a note of your answer for the final part of the competition and how to enter next week. Our action next week comes from down under.
They're quick hands along the blind side. Here's Courier. Courier decides to kick ahead. Grant coming through quickly. The bounce doesn't favour Belcher. And Grant, can he get his pass away? Yes, he can. Courier. That Courier, can he get his pass away? Sheridan charging for the line. Big Paul Sheridan scores. Right on half-time. The Tigers have scored a try from nothing.
The Australian Grand Final next week on Scrumdown. For now, we say goodnight from Post Office Road, where Featherstone lined up their first league win in 84 days and then had it snatched from them. Good night.
Scrumdown next Sunday is at the later time of 12:10.